The next step in this process is going to be installing the purlin pipe. So the purlin pipe is going to be the smaller diameter 1 3/8 straight pipe that you receive in your kit, in your bundles. So basically the purlin pipe is the center piece of pipe that runs down the peak of the greenhouse, and that's going to sturdy up the bows to give it a little bit of rigidity. For all houses that are 20 foot and smaller in width, you're only going to get one run of purlin, so that's what we're going to do in this one. So okay, now that we've got the purlin, we know we're working on it, we're going to work on it right here on the side. So we're going to go ahead and connect every single piece that we have and run it down the length of the greenhouse. We're going to come to one end of the greenhouse. We're going to flush it up to the ground stake so it butts up right to the end, so we don't have to make a cut on this end. So after that, we're going to install 2 Tech screws in our first joint here of purlin. Now that we've got that done, we're going to take a Sharpie marker and we're going to go mark the center of every single ground stake on the purlin pipe. So you're going to mark on the purlin, dead center of the ground stake. And once we get on a ladder here in a minute to start hanging the purlin down the center bows, we're going to use this reference mark to know where they need to align so that the bows are flush with the ground stakes. To keep this process manageable, we're only going to put a Tech screw every other bow. So that's going to give us a 20-foot long piece, which should be easy enough to get up on the ladder. Part of the hardware you're going to use for this portion is going to be a Purlin clamp or a cross connector, as we call it. And basically the easiest way to do this is it's going to come with the 2 joints here plus a nut and a bolt. While you're on the ground, you might as well go ahead and pre-thread these loosely and tighten them there. Then if you got somebody on the ladder, toss it on up to them, and then they're going to snap that clamp over the center of the bow. So now the guys are working behind me to go ahead and get the purlin clamps in place on this first 20-foot section. So we're going to get that raised up, threaded through the purlin clamps themselves, and then go ahead and loosely tighten those. Then on the first and the last bow, those are a little bit different. We're going to use a 2-hole strap on that. The 2-hole strap is going to attach the purlin to the bow with 3 Tech screws. You're going to put one through either hole and then one straight to the middle of the purlin clamp itself. You might want to go ahead and pre-drill the 2-hole strap so it's a little bit easier to get the Tech screws in there, because it's kind of difficult to get a Tech screw in while you're up that high. So we've got all the cross connectors in place, and we've got the final 2-hole strap on the end wall. So now John's going to climb up the ladder and we're going to sawzall the pipe off flush with the end wall there. Once that's done, we're going to go back through, and in each purlin clamp, we're going to place a Tech screw through that so it connects it so it doesn't slip around at all. While we're doing this, we're also going to go through and tighten the nuts and bolts on the cross connectors to cinch them down to the bow. Now that we got all those Tech screws in, we're going to call it a day. We got them in the cross connectors and we're at a good stopping point, so that's going to end day 1. So we got the ground stakes in, the bows assembled and put together, and the purlin run and in there in place. So we're ready to call it quits. We're going to go get some rest. We'll see you guys tomorrow.